Thank you, Litio. Good evening, viewers, and thanks for joining the Thursday's edition of the Regional News. Haiti has been rocked by 4 earthquakes within a 5-hour period on Wednesday, but Civil Protection Directorate, DPC, reported that there was no loss of life or damage. It said that the first quake occurred at 7:31 a.m. local time with a magnitude of 4.0, followed 6 minutes later with a quake of 3.6 and one with a magnitude of 3.9 at 9:11 a.m. Haiti time. The last quake with a magnitude of 2.5 occurred at 1:41 p.m. According to the DPC, the epicenter of the 4 earthquakes was located at 18.82 degrees north latitude and 74.15 degrees west longitude, north of Jeremy de la Coneve, Maraguay, and northwest of Port-au-Prince at a depth of 4 kilometers. The earthquakes on Wednesday were in the same area where on December 28 last year, an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.20 rocked Jeremy. As had been the case on Wednesday, there was also no loss of life or damage, according to authorities. In January 2010, Haiti was rocked by a 7.0 magnitude earthquake that killed 220,000 people. Turn our attention now to some international news. A federal U.S. court sentenced former Bolivian Interior Minister Arturo Morello to nearly 6 years behind bars Wednesday for conspiracy to commit money laundering, the U.S. Department of Justice said in a statement. Morello pleaded guilty in October 2022 to receiving at least $532,000 in bribes from a Florida-based company in exchange for helping the company secure a lucrative tear gas contract with Bolivia's defense ministry. Reports said that he had laundered the money through the U.S. financial system. Morello was sentenced to 70 months in prison in the U.S. District Court for Southern District of Florida. Another former Bolivian official and 3 Americans were sentenced in the United States last June after they also pleaded guilty to roles in the same scheme, according to the department. A former Senator, Morello served as Interior Minister between 2019 and 2020 during the interim government of President Janai Áñez, who took power following political turmoil that led to the president resigning and leaving the country. Bolivia's government has requested Morello's extradition to Bolivia, where he faces a host of criminal charges. And to close tonight's regional news. Patients, mostly older people, laid on stretchers in hallways or took oxygen while sitting in wheelchairs as a COVID-19 outbreak stretched public health facilities' resources in China's capital, Beijing, even after its reported peak. The Xiangli Hospital in the city's east was packed Thursday with newly arrived patients. Beds ran out by mid-morning even as ambulances continued to bring more people in. Hard-pressed nurses and doctors rushed to take information and triage the most urgent cases. The crush of people seeking hospital care follows China's abandonment of its most severe pandemic restrictions last month after nearly 3 years of lockdowns, travel bans, and school closures that weighed heavily on the economy and prompted unusual street protests in a country that quashes political dissent. Several local governments began asking people Thursday not to make the trip home for the upcoming Lunar New Year holiday. Overseas, a growing number of governments are requiring virus tests for travelers from China, saying they are needed because the Chinese government is not sharing enough information on the outbreak. The European Union on Wednesday strongly encouraged its member states to impose pre-departure COVID-19 testing, though not all have done so. China has criticized the requirements and warned of countermeasures against countries imposing them. And that's a wrap of tonight's regional news. I am Joel Vogt, back to you, Litio.